Super Bowl champion with the Seattle Seahawks, most famous member of the all-time great Legion of Boom. He won a Super Bowl with the Bucs in spite of John Gruden. As I've said many times, I believe this man was the greatest receiver ever.
All of them are talking at the same time, and Skip Bayless shrinks to the size of a postage stamp on his own show.
Originally, I was incredibly optimistic about the brand new Undisputed, primarily because Skip Bayless is a legend and he's been able to create very engaging sports debate shows on 2 separate occasions. But we now have statistical data that might be suggesting otherwise. So before we get to the content, make sure you drop, like, subscribe, and turn on our notifications to help the channel grow so you can stay up to date with all things in the world of the NFL and sports. And now that we get all of that out of the way, break! This is pretty much free money. We only need to correctly pick 2 squares to 3x our money on PrizePicks. And to celebrate the NFL season kicking off, PrizePicks is giving us a free square. All Dak Prescott needs is 1 passing yard in order to fulfill his square. So you combine that with Travis Kelce, who only needs 1 receiving touchdown, and in my opinion, this is a guaranteed win in our books. I don't care if you're the biggest Cowboy hater on earth, Dak Prescott will get 1 passing yard. And we all know Travis Kelce is definitely going to get 1 receiving touchdown. And if you haven't signed up for PrizePicks yet, you could match your initial deposit by using my promo code microphone when you sign up. That's promo code microphone when you sign up for PrizePicks, or just click on the link in the description down below. And thank you, PrizePicks, for the sponsor. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? I read a lot of my comments from my last Undisputed video, and for some reason people think that I'm rooting for Skip Bayless to fail, or
I'm just a Skip Bayless hater.
which is kind of comical because whenever I go into the whole backstory of Skip Bayless, I get flamed in my comment section for recapping the story that my subscribers know way too much. And whenever I don't provide backstory, people just draw conclusions that I dislike Skip Bayless, which I guess comes with the territory because 70% of my viewership actually comes from humans that aren't subscribed to me. So it's kind of difficult making content for my incredible subscribers and the wonderful people that are just watching me for the first time. So for those of you guys wondering, that's why I have those recaps. With that being said, at this point, I'm sure you guys know where the saga stands. Shannon Sharpe leaves Undisputed right when the NBA Finals concludes. This puts Skip Bayless in a very difficult situation because now he doesn't have a show during the busiest time of the NBA season, where all these roster transactions are going on, which, by the way, is a very huge point in sports debate. Some of my best months on my basketball channel are in July when the NBA free agency starts. And people started speculating why Shannon Sharpe left. People thought that Skip and Shannon no longer liked each other. But the fact of the matter is that Shannon Sharpe's brand grew to a point where he was able to carry his own show. And I personally believe that once you get to a specific point in your career where you could have your own show and you don't need to answer to anybody, and you could also make your hours significantly more flexible, there's just nothing left for Shannon Sharpe on Undisputed. And it seems like in interview, Shannon Sharpe understood that Skip Bayless put him in this situation and he has nothing but gratitude for him. But it's kind of like a scenario where a relationship just ran its course. Kind of similar to Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. There was nothing left for Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay, and it was time to embark on a new journey. The same happens with Shannon Sharpe here. So we know what Shannon Sharpe's plan is. He decided to sign Club Shay Shay onto Colin Cowherd's platform, The Volume.
Do you have good news for me? You're smiling.
I have great news for you. We're in business together, bro. I've decided to bring Club Shay Shay over and partner with you. When we first started, you said, hey, give me an opportunity, hear what everybody else has to say. And I listened to everybody, but I felt The Volume was the best place for me,
while also continuing to make nationally televised appearances on ESPN twice a week on First Take. Now, this is significant because when Shannon Sharpe originally left, he cited one of the things he was looking forward to the most was not having to wake up at 4 a.m. every day for 5 days a week just to go on Undisputed, which makes a lot of sense because it's not really necessary at this point for him. So this way, he maintains his relevance by appearing on nationally televised broadcasts while also getting to focus on his podcast. This brings us to what Skip Bayless's plan was. And Skip Bayless formulated a plan that we've never seen before. Usually in the past, Skip Bayless picks one person and says, this is going to be my debate partner. Whether it's Stephen A. Smith in the early 2010s or Shannon Sharpe in the mid 2010s, up until recently. But this time, Skip Bayless had to scramble. He needed to find someone quick. Originally, we thought that LaShawn McCoy was going to be his new debate partner, but fans and viewers weren't big fans of LaShawn McCoy. Eventually, he settled on Richard Sherman, which I think was an S-tier pickup, but Richard Sherman was only willing to debate Skip Bayless 50 to 100 times a year. As time went on, we found out Lil Wayne would be debating with Skip Bayless every Friday, which he did make his debut, and it was fairly fascinating. Watch.
Shredded SEC defenses.
But don't give me that.
That's the NFL.
Yes.
Yeah.
But in addition to this, Skip Bayless was able to pick up Rachel Nichols to debate basketball with him, in addition to Michael Irvin and Keyshawn Johnson. And more recently, he also announced that he's picking up Josina Anderson. This has started to give me conglomerate vibes. I mean, Undisputed doesn't seem like a solo debate show anymore. And we saw that in the first episode.
How you gonna tell me that's the worst advice? I'm only one of the best to ever do it at playing that game. I'm saying.
And although I think Undisputed has all the ingredients to make a successful debate show, I feel like they're using way too many ingredients. So Skip Bayless's debut of his new debate show was met with mixed reviews. Whether it's from Dan Le Batard, who was a little bit aggressive with what he said.
Skip Bayless is trying to keep up with changing times in his 70s by opening the gates of hell to three generations of this is the loudest black guy who played football during his generation. 3 generations of it. Michael Irvin, Keyshawn Johnson, and Richard Sherman. And of course, when they get together, because they all want to be throwing the damn ball, all of them are talking at the same time, and Skip Bayless shrinks to the size of a postage stamp on his own show. I'm just really enjoying the idea that Skip Bayless's last evolution is, all right, bleep it. Let's let everyone have at it on my show. I'm going to allow Richard Sherman, Michael Irvin, and Keyshawn Johnson to debate me for the remainder of my career. That again, I will say, I don't mean this as ageism. He's 70 years old. This is not the game for 70-year-olds, but he's gonna try it with 3 different really cartoonish loud guys.
Or if it was Stephen A. Smith commenting on the brand new debate show.
I don't give a shit about competition. I live for it. And as far as I'm concerned, let's get it on.
Whether you liked Undisputed's initial debut or not, I have to admit they're currently in some trouble because statistically it's not looking so great for Undisputed. So according to Front Office Sports, Skip Bayless's revamped show falls short of First Take in ratings. Now bear in mind, if there's one thing First Take has over Undisputed recently, it's the fact that they've had stability and consistency despite a myriad of layoffs. So the article says that Skip Bayless unveiled his revamped Undisputed live show on FS1 this week. But one thing did not change. Bayless took a beating in the TV ratings race by Stephen A. Smith's First Take. Following the departure of Shannon Sharpe, Bayless's Undisputed Live took an extended hiatus of nearly 2 months off the air before returning Monday with new castmates Keyshawn Johnson, Michael Irvin, and Richard Sherman. The new cast and format changes didn't help much for the weekday morning show. And this brings us to the actual viewership numbers. The premiere of the new and improved Undisputed Live drew 131,000 viewers on Monday to 448,000 for ESPN's top-rated First Take, according to sources. Now, for those of you guys that don't know, typically the debut of a show will automatically crush the regular viewership that the show has from that point on. People are going to be tuning in just because they're curious to see how it's going to go. So one would assume that the show would have its stuff together, make sure that they could attract as many recurrent viewers as they possibly can. But it looks like that wasn't the case here. The gap widened on Tuesday with Undisputed Live, averaging 120,000 viewers to 474,000 for First Take. And it seems like the regular viewership is getting way worse. On Wednesday, Undisputed Live plunged to 78,000 viewers versus 423,000 for First Take. To give you an idea, 78,000 viewers is about 2 times the amount that Pat McAfee averages on YouTube alone. That's without us mentioning mentioning Mad Dog Sports Radio on Sirius XM, and the streams he's probably going to get from ESPN once he begins his tenure there in a week from now. So the first 3 days of Bayless's revamped program drew fewer viewers than Sharp's final episodes in June, which averaged 154,000 viewers to First Take's 421,000. Now, to be fair to Bayless, drawing conclusions from a small rating sample is difficult. Bayless will get a huge boost with the start of the NFL season. He won the week on social media with his show trending all week on Twitter, and help is on the way for the pioneering 71-year-old godfather of embrace debate. My personal take on this is very similar to what Fox Sports Radio personality Doug Gottlieb had to say. Relax, first show, shows always evolve. First Take was a segment called First and 10 on Cold Pizza, which was rebooted after 1 year. And although Doug Gottlieb is right here, it's gonna be tough for Undisputed to close the gap, especially if Stephen A. Smith has nearly 3 times the audience. The problem isn't Skip Bayless's new show. The problem was taking a month-and-a-half hiatus, because during the entire time, First Take posted its most watched August in 6 years, with viewership growing 21% to 391,000 average viewers. The thing about taking these long breaks and taking your show off the air completely, it's the fact that you disrupt people's routines. If someone wakes up each and every day and they're used to watching your show, and if you want to take like a day off here and there, that's fine. If you want to take 3 days off, okay. If you want to take a week or 2 off, that's a little bit like more up there, but fine. When you take a month off or a month and a half off and someone finds an alternative to you, it's going to be very difficult to bring that person back, especially if the format of your show is significantly different. There's a large number of fans that were watching because they loved Shannon Sharpe. Now, do I think this is the end of Skip Bayless? No, because he just launched his brand new show and it has a completely different format. Do I think Skip Bayless's career is in jeopardy? Well, we have to wait and see. I feel like they have the ingredients to make a good show. I feel like the format just needs to be changed a little bit. Maybe bring in a good moderator in order to keep the debate going a little bit more smoothly, especially when you have 4 people sitting at a desk at a time. It seems like they didn't really have time to rehearse this either because, well, they had to get a show out as soon as possible, and I guess that kind of hurt them a little bit too. Do I think this is the end of Skip? No, but I do believe that this is a low point for Undisputed. If there's anyone that could come back from it, it's Skip Bayless in my opinion, but he definitely has a lot of ground to make up, and we have yet to see Shannon Sharpe even debut on First Take yet. Imagine the viewership once Shannon Sharpe starts debating with Stephen A. Smith. All of those diehard Shannon Sharpe fans that originally tolerated Skip Bayless or just watched Skip Bayless are just going to be migrating over to ESPN, who's already dominating Skip Bayless. Let me know in the comment section down below. Is Undisputed going out sad? Is this the end of Undisputed? Is Skip Bayless's career over? I personally don't think so, but even if it is, he had a hell of a run. I'd like to hear what you have to say. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.